So here I am once again. One thing I'm paying attention to is that they both seems to be opening pretty weak. Nasdaq to the upside and gold to the downside. Nasdaq, let's see, still I don't know. The first bar somewhat is not clear what he wants to do, and the second bar is hesitating around, so I'm not sure yet. I was waiting to see these on gold. This first bar is weak, so I believe that it might be an attempt to fill the gap. Depends on how the next bar behave. I'm gonna watch. I like to see if I see some up close and the bar coming up as a rejection, I might buy gold, attempting to close the gap here that was created. I could buy the break of this current bar if it is to break up, but I'm gonna wait to see the close. I'm gonna just wait to give it time and see what happens from here. I just attempted to sell this bar traded higher, took the highs here, this one and also this one after retesting this area here. It's consolidation and then it traded lower and breaking its own low. So I decided to take a small risk short there to see if it was to tank from there, but this seems weak to the upside. So yeah, it didn't work this time. So I'm gonna just give it time. Gonna keep waiting and see what happens. I'm now attempting to do the same thing after it came back down again, a little bit stronger. So I saw a little lower, but this time I actually shorted with a lower risk, so it's even less than the prior trade. So just one contract here. I want to see because if it is to fail to the upside and fill this pretty much relevant gap there and then trade lower, I think maybe we could head for yesterday's this swing here basically. It just may not done basically 10 o'clock in the morning. But let's see what he wants to do. I'm gonna keep waiting for now. And I just engaged in gold. Why I engaged in gold? It's because the third bar, even though the first bar and second bar were a little weak, the third bar actually was pretty good, strong, closing at its lows. So I waited for this fourth bar to trade. It retested a little bit higher. So when it came back down and broke its low, which was pretty much 0.1 or something like that, I actually shorted the market here. And just to see if it is to trade lower and tank and maybe close
Order
this prior
filled.
gap here. For now, I'm just gonna stop out. So let's see. But anyway, let's see. I want to see if it fails to trade lower, which it could definitely. I do want to see some sort of close to the outside of this previous down bar because now it's basically taking the lows of RTAs from yesterday. So we'll see. Let's see what he wants to do. If he tanks without me, it's fine. I did the right thing, I believe, by reducing my risk, which makes no sense to, well, like I said, point is if the market is to tank from here, it shouldn't break this high. If it does, then yeah, I was likely to just to be wrong. So I think it was a good move to just after some decent profits just to collapse the trade because it makes no sense. If the price reject, I want to see let's say if this bar closes like as it highs or something, or even above this previous bar, I am probably gonna long and go for the gut feel after this seems to be failing to the downside. All right, here I am once again. I'm not sure if this trade is up to work, but I think I still took a decent trade. Volume was good to the downside, it closing below this overnight and yesterday's lows from the RTH. So this bar was retesting higher. Then when it came back down and broke its zone again, I actually shorted here. This is my defined risk. I don't want to take any further than that. So I want to see if there is an attempt to break this zone low here again, this previous bar low, and also go for this previous gap fill here. Nasdaq, I like the close of this up bar when I shorted. And then, well, this bar taken, like this bar that traded afterwards, so it was a little bit undecisive, but then now it's tanking and it's close the gap and it's going beyond. So I'm going to let it be open on break even this rate for a while. I'm not going to really do anything else on it for now because I believe if there is momentum is increasing, volume seems good. So if it gets to be healthy, I believe that these lows and this overnight low that I have here and also yesterday's RTH low should be taken. But anyway, that's just analysis and anticipation, so it's not certain as usual with everything. So this bar after it traded lower and broke its low, I could probably get a stop out. That's okay, but I think it should not break this high again if it is to actually continue tanking. So let's see. This is definitely why I define my risk there. I don't want to take any extra necessary risk. So I want to see if it trades lower, like say around like this area here, maybe around this retest of this structure, if he wants to go there. If it does around here, I will just be pretty much on break even like I'm gonna be now, for example. Yeah, I'm not gonna let it tag if he wants to tag. This might be some sort of, I don't know, fear short or whatever. Yeah, I'm gonna let it be. If he wants to stop on break even, fine. But let's see. Like I said, it's still like a sensitive area within this gap and also yesterday's lows. So I'm sure that I'm somewhat aware that it could, well, like it's doing now, either retrace all the way and let's see. after that what he wants to do. But so
Order
far,
filled.
I think it was a good trade that I took. Reaction was decent for a couple of seconds, as I can see. But then so far it seems to be rejecting. So I want to wait for this bar. I want to see the close of that bar and what happens from here. Because like I said earlier, with even when I was trading here, this could be definitely just a trap. So for example, this could be some sort of absorption happening to the upside. But let's see what type of bar I get now. And then from there, I'm going to decide. And again, to my understanding, well, the bar kept rejecting. I actually waited for the close. And after this close above this previous bar and kind of reclaiming this daily area, which from yesterday, I bought the market here when this bar retested. This is my risk for now. It's like 100 plus something. And what I'm aiming for is that after this failure, price I believe should continue higher and possibly fill this gap. So I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna let it be like with my full risk for now. Now it's breaking the high of this previous bar. If it is to continue, definitely soon I want to see momentum to the upside, stacking. And if I get to see the break of this opening high, then I'm gonna move break even and let it run to the gap and possibly for this overnight high that I have here from the RTH. But yeah, so far I'm gonna wait. Nasdaq rejected pretty nicely to the upside, and now it seems to be hesitating around, and maybe I don't know what's gonna happen, but I want to see if this bar continues with the momentum towards the downside. Definitely, I want to see this low being broken and also the price holding below. That will be a good indicative that Nasdaq is pretty much decided to trade lower. If he does not, well, it's fine. I'm gonna let it remain break even here, and let's see if I can at some point reduce my risk in gold as well. Well, Nasdaq came back up, stopping me around here, so around break even. That's fair enough. This is pretty much a good sign of rejection again after this filled small gap here. So this close so far seems to be good, but I want to see what happens now. I want to see if it retests around this area again here, and if it is to, take the overnight, maybe trade higher, maybe it goes from yesterday's high. There could be a pretty good chance. Here on gold, I decided I was just basically trailing my risk, so I was basically reducing it as it traded higher. So this makes some sense after decent profit to take a loss. So I'm letting it be. Nasdaq, if it comes back up and break this high, I'm gonna buy it, and the risk is gonna be this bar low here. Unless it's trade like deep, then I will just remove this execution. If it is to tag me in, I do want to see the overnight being run, basically. If he gets to that, if he gets to be run, I would like to see momentum stacking up here, maybe going for the highs. This is probably going to be my exit.
Order
But so
filled.
far, now I'm tagged in. Definitely this is my risk here. It's around 70 something. The momentum seems to be getting strong. This is exactly a really good sign. This is exactly what I wanted to see. If it is to fail, it should definitely, of course, come and stop me out. But I think the momentum seems good. So I want to let it be and see if he wants to tag the highs of yesterday, which is basically this area here. And gold, let's see. It seems to be getting somewhat weak. I don't know, but let's see what he wants to go from there. I'm gonna monitor Nasdaq because it definitely could also get weak around this area and reject off these highs. But I don't know. I'm not scared though. I'm just gonna let it be and see what he wants to do. I'm also monitoring the overall profits, which are getting pretty I would say decent in my. So these are just orientation, of course. Like there, it could get there, it could not, but I think it's a good thing. Let's see if it at least go want to fill the gap or something. But so far, is doing well, I would say. Yeah, let's see what happens. I'm going to take this off here. I hate clusters, so yeah. Gonna wait. I believe that gold should definitely fill the gap, but let's see. It's not like a like a wishful thinking or whatever. But I think the momentum, the read overall so far is being good. It could definitely still fail. But yeah, I'm gonna remain in these two trades. I'm gonna see Nasdaq what he wants to do from now. If it is to fail, or if he actually wants to continue pretty much sticking to the upside and well, maybe taking this highs as I mentioned earlier. Well, not much to add. So far, Nasdaq actually failed. It didn't even get to the highs. It just basically failed around here. So let's see. I don't know what's gonna happen. I wanna wait still to see the close. It could still close. If it closes above this swing, I could still buy again. But so far, I'm gonna wait. I don't want to chase or hesitate or like have some stupid execution out of nowhere. So it's okay. It was a break-even trade, so no can do. Is part of this. I thought that with the momentum clearly showing up and stacking, it would maybe push higher. But this is not. Maybe this is not the time. So yeah, I'm gonna just give it time and see what happens from now. Right. NQ will trade lower below this previous bar. It seems it fell to the upside here. Volume was huge, even better than the open. But this lack of like it seems like there is some I call it absorption happening here. So there is good volume, but there is no continuation. That means the upper side might be getting weak. So I had reduced my risk on gold a little bit there. And Nasdaq, I'm waiting for this bar to retest like it's doing now, and then I want to see if it breaks its own low, and maybe if there's a further continuation to the downside. That's why I'm waiting for it to tag me in if it wants to, and then the bar high is gonna be my stop. I'm not gonna take any extra weird ass risk. I think it makes some sense because after this retest, if it is to tank, it should not break this bar high, as I'm usually saying. So yeah, I want to see. I'm checking gold. This bar retested this previous range here
Order
in the
filled.
open, and then rejected and closed higher. But let's see. Now it's somewhat in the middle, hanging there. And Q now is taking this previous bear bar low. I do want to see it not rejecting, but hanging around here and maybe holding below the low. That would give me some maybe extra clue that it might want to continue lower, because maybe this swing being created is kind of confirming that yeah, there is a failure, but now what I need to see is continuation. If I see that, well, good. If not, well, I'm just gonna get a stop there. We'll see. Well, the earlier trade on NQ got stopped out. I reduced risk in this bar, and then this same bar I actually bought it after I thought that it might continue higher after the rejection, but then it did not. So I just got stopped out there, somewhere I don't know 100 plus or something like that. So I don't know. It's not getting pretty much clean. So let's see. I'm gonna give it more time. I'm actually waiting for gold. The close was good in this bar. Now it's tagging the 50% of the current gap, and this bar is retesting, which is normal. I want to see if there is upside to come, and if it is, if it breaks above the 50% again, I'm gonna add one more trade here above this current bar high if he wants to trade higher. If not, then I'm likely to get a stop top below this bar. We'll see. Well, gold just actually traded lower quite strong, like in a second or something, and it took these lows here. I don't know if it's to reject and trade higher and close the gap. Nasdaq, I got a stopped out. I actually bought the lows here, and I gave like 100 something as risk, and I got stopped out there. And then this bar closed a really strong low, so as it was closing here, I sold the market. And then this bar opened, retested, and then traded lower strongly, and now it's rejecting. I define the high of the bar as my risk. There's no point to take any extra losses there. So yeah, letting it be for now. Let's see what he wants to do. Let's see if he wants to answer and then come lower after this good close. But we'll see. I guess I'm about to find out. Well, as I showed earlier, this bar broke, remained lower here. Then it came up. It pretty much almost came back to entry. Then now it's tanking again, breaking its own low. So at this point, I decided that it didn't make some sense to take any loss here. So regardless of if it comes up again and do whatever, I think it was good adaptation. Now I'm just gonna remain risk free and see if the momentum keeps stacking to the downside, maybe it takes a loss or whatever. It doesn't seem to be like a clean day. I don't know if it is to tank now and like go like I don't know 1,000 points or whatever, but definitely I think I have overall had a pretty good read of the market in both directions and adapted pretty well. So I'm kind of happy about that. I'm getting to remain more patient and well, having I would say better executions overall. So yeah, I still have a lot of things to tweak around, and especially from my behavior and everything. So yeah, I'm gonna stick to this behavior overall and try to get better each day. So yeah, let's see what happens. Let's see how these trades played out. Gold is now breaking on the highs above the gap. I believe if this bar holds above, it should continue. If not, if it seems to be failing or whatever, I probably will collapse the trade, because after this break of this high here, there should be further momentum and continuation if it is to continue higher. All right, a couple of things. As I showed earlier, Nasdaq hesitated and stopped me out there. It retested higher again. Now this bar took the high and started trading lower. So when it broke its own low, I actually shorted with a small risk to see if there's continuation back down. Gold, I added when it broke. This bar broke its own high earlier. After this close, I think it was pretty good. Let's see what he wants to do, if he wants to fill the gap or what. So far, the trade was great, and yeah, let's see what it is from now. I don't know. Let's see what Nasdaq wants to do, if he wants to continue hesitating around and doing shit or what.
Order filled.
Well, that trade wouldn't work, so I got to stop out. This bar, same bar, broke its own high and came back down again, and pretty much same procedure. I sold the low again. I had the risk here. Now I lowered it a little bit. It seems that it wants to continue. I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen. I want to let it be and see if I want to see if it breaks the low and holds around, and then there at that point I will just go break even. Gold had a nice close, and it took previous bar high, and now it seems to be failing, so I'm likely to be stopped out somewhat above break even. Kind of sucks, but yeah, nothing can do. I mean, I don't know what's 100% is gonna happen, so if I am to get a stopped out there in break even, well, it is what it is. So let's see. Well, goal, like I said, it was just rejecting, so I just got stopped out a little bit above break even. Nasdaq, on the other hand, is behaving nicely so far. But anyway, I don't know. I'm not married with anything, so I'm gonna continue waiting. And I definitely want to see breaking of the lows and maybe to see if it takes the RTH low. I believe if it is to take maybe close lower, it could definitely continue tanking. But so far, I don't want to anticipate or do anything weird. So I'm just gonna wait and see if he wants to do something in my favor in this case. This is retest is nice. Let's see if he wants to do. If it breaks the low again of this retesting bar, I could maybe add one more here. A stop sell at the low, but we'll see. I'm not. I think sadly, in a way, I've been stacking like small losses and small losses, so pretty much I got to a decent drawdown again. And yeah, I need to continue, well, try to get better in that sense and just keep the losses small, and of course, the less the better. But so far, well, not can do. I mean, it's part of this as well. So I'm gonna continue working, gonna continue to do research and try to get better, like I said earlier. So let's see. Yeah, I would like to see definitely the breaking of this low after this failure to the upside. And also I want to see how it behaves when it breaks this low, if it does so. So we'll see. Well, like I said earlier, there's some weird procession happening, especially in NQ. But yeah, this bar retested further than I actually anticipated and wanted to see. But anyway, it was a break-even trade there, and now it's an inside bar. So let's see how it closes and what it breaks. Goal I did was after this strong close below this previous up bar and the swing. I waited this bar here retested again 50% and then trade lower, breaking its own low. That's actually when I shorted the market. Yep, let's see what happens from here. Well, so far NQ continues to show some hesitation. I'm monitoring this inside bar to see how it breaks and what it holds and whatever. It has not breaking yet. Actually, now it did. So I want to see if it holds above this bar. If it does hold so, I might buy the high of this current bar here. After it broke, we should possibly continue higher. Well, let's see. Let's see what happens. If it is to break higher and continue higher, maybe breaking this high and closing above, I believe then it should actually come back up and take these highs here. Let's see. A goal found some good momentum now. I remain there. So when this bar was around this here, around this level, so that's when I removed my risk because it makes no sense after this decent profit to take a loss. So yeah, I want to see if Nasdaq stops me. Tags me in, and after that we'll see if there's continuation or what. Right. Well, I don't have much to say besides that I took a small loss earlier here in gold. I was thinking that maybe he wants to continue from after it broke these highs here, but didn't really do much. And while in Q, I think I had a pretty good read here when I mentioned earlier that yeah it fell, but then yeah I couldn't really get a proper execution and go to the downside, maybe hold enough to well this target that I earlier had here. I'm not sure if it actually did that. So here, this low of yesterday was 892.50, and this one is 89200. So yeah, it dipped like really tiny bit below it. I missed all this pretty much. Took a couple of losses, and well, it doesn't seem like he wants to do anything special. But yeah, this is the trade that I took. Basically, is a really valid trade. The price uh, after tagging here, it came consolidated for a little bit. I wasn't here, I was busy, and then I came here actually around this bear bar here. I wanted to buy the retest, but it did not retest then, so it created an inside bar instead. So when this down bar here traded below the inside bar, that's actually when I bought the market there with two contracts, and I'm locked down around here around 9900 pretty much. And let's see, I want to see if there is a push to the upside, and if he wants to maybe go for the current session highs and maybe this daily high that I mentioned earlier that the price fails at. But I don't know. I'm gonna leave this trade be. It probably is my last trade of today. I didn't manage basically to keep my losses tight overall. Like quite many small losses, and at the end of the day make a big one. So red day, I mean, it is part of it, but yeah, not every day is gonna be as I wish it was, which is green. But I don't know. I'm gonna keep to it. I'm not gonna do anything else unless I find something really beautiful at some point. But other than that, I'm just gonna let the price be. I'm gonna let this trade probably to if it is to trade higher, I'm just gonna keep it to the close. I don't know if it's gonna get up, if it's gonna just hang around here and close somewhere here, whatever it does, I'm not gonna touch it basically. Yeah, later, for example, like now, this is the first close above this high, so I want to see if there is a close later above this high here or this high here with a nice momentum, then I will probably just go break even. But so far, for now, I'm just gonna wait. Well. I want to just make it keep it clean and well, clearly show that I misbehaved once again. Why? I don't know. No idea. And this is I would say frustrating, but kind of I cannot say that I'm mad for some reason. But I don't know. Let's see. I got triggered by NQ. I had a trailer earlier here on the highs here, which failed after I bought this inside bar here. I think it was pretty much a break-even trade, but then it traded lower. So once it broke, it just kept going with it. But then yeah, it wouldn't really do anything. I was mostly chasing rather than trading at this point. Then I sold the inside bar high. It would fail. Then yeah, I sold the retest here. It would fail again. Like it didn't really give me much. So yeah, I don't know what else to say really. I need to sit and think and look at myself in the mirror. That's next for me. Well, not much to say. Um, I just I didn't manage to keep it together somehow today. I don't know. I feel like I have like the same feeling that I had a couple of times already, which is for some reason I feel in a rush. Like even when I'm on the right side of the market, like basically, initially it was somewhat long here. Then I started to see the failure on NQ, and then well, I was short until these lows here. They did tag those lows, but then yeah, pretty much just no, not the best day at all when it comes to my trading and skills and not skill, but I mean like holding myself up because I'm having a really hard time keeping my hands tight. I think that's the riskiest thing I think in this shit basically. It's so hard to not to do nothing that eventually you find yourself just doing useless stuff. And that's pretty much what I did today, and I can take that. I don't know. Then I'm not gonna trade for the rest of the week. I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna rest and just think about and do some studies and research. Not because I wanna change like anything or everything at all, but I do have work that is stacking, it's piling up. So I'm going to focus on that the time that I have free. I'm gonna be watching the sessions. I think it will be good for me just to practice and to just sit down for at least a couple hours and then just watch the session develop. And well, I'm gonna pretty much also record my ideas and thoughts and everything. But I'm gonna like I said, have a break and have to reassess myself definitely because this is not okay. This is not good. I'm gonna go to sleep and I'm gonna rest.